Hi everybody, Tex-Mex here. Thanks for joining me for another video. Today we are going to sight in the CVLIFE red dot known as the FoxSpook. One thing I will say about CVLIFE is they sure have some colorful names for their products. So this is the FoxSpook red dot sight. I already made a video unboxing this sight and taking a look at some of its basic stuff. But just for a quick review, it's a red-green dot sight. It's got different illumination settings in both the red and the green, and it's got different reticles that you can use. There's a dot reticle, a bullseye reticle, a crosshair reticle, a crosshair reticle, and a starburst reticle, which looks like a combination of the crosshair with a smaller bull's eye. And I've put it here on my M&P 1522. I figured it would be an easy way to sight it in and do a little test. What I'm going to do is I'm going to sight in this sight. As far as mounting is very simple. This has a quad rail rifle, so it's got lots of rails here to mount on, and it's got this Picatinny rail, so it's very simple to mount on most modern rail systems. It's just got a couple of screws that you put in once you have it on the rail, and all the tools are included in the box, so it's very simple to get on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to sight this in. I've got my table set up here at 45 yards from the target. That's probably further than I should be. I should probably start out at 15 to 20 yards, but I'm feeling confident this morning, and I just put up a new cardboard. Let me show you my target down there. So there's my targets at 45 yards way down there. It really looks farther, but yeah, it's 45 yards. I checked it on the laser range finder. Why does this look crooked? There we go. That's a little more horizontal. And since I put new cardboard behind my targets, if I'm not hitting the target, I should still see the holes that I'm creating, unless I'm so far off the target that I'm not even hitting the cardboard, in which case I have to be careful because I might then hit my camera. But hopefully not. Hopefully we'll avoid destroying a camera today. And just to make sure that I'm shooting something relatively accurate, I've got some Elay. Well, this was the Remington brand Elay. I haven't seen this anymore. I found this old box. It's not terribly old, but I've got some other Elay target in my bag just in case. But this should group relatively well, and since I'm sighting in and trying to test this particular sight, I wanted some ammunition that at least would group somewhat consistently. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sight it in first, and then I'm going to check to see how it does between the different reticles. If I sight it in with one reticle, well, it retains 0 with the other reticles, and the reticle I'm going to sight it in with will be the dot reticle. It is the smallest reticle, and it should be the one that's most precise. So I'm going to try to shoot at the larger target to sight it in, and once I've got it relatively sighted in, I can start shooting at the smaller targets with the different reticles and see how well it does. But before we start that, one of the things that they advertise about this FoxSpook is that it's supposed to co-witness with iron sights. Now, I don't normally have iron sights on this rifle, but I decided to put some on temporarily just for this video. And so I've got, this is the old Magpul ones down here. These are relatively inexpensive iron sight. So there's the rear sight, and the front sight's just, you know, a screw-on AR style front sight. So let's take a look here and see how well it does as far as actually co-witnessing with the sights. So let me go ahead and bag up my rifle here, and let me switch this camera where it doesn't shake too much when I move it. But yeah, as you see there, I'm not sure if you can see through the sight hole there. These GoPros are kind of difficult to sight in, but yeah, very easily you can see that of your using the iron sights with the reflex sight, you can certainly co-witness between the two if you want to. Now, that's not what I intend to do today. I actually just want to try the reflex sight out and see how it does, but I put these on temporarily. Now this rear sight I can just fold down and lock in, so that's not a problem. I'm gonna actually remove that front sight because I don't want it in the way as I'm sighting this reflex sight in. So I'm gonna take that front sight off real quick, and then we'll go ahead and start shooting and see how quickly I can get this sight sighted in. Okay, I've loaded up 10 rounds. Hopefully I can get it sighted in less than 10, although that is being somewhat optimistic probably. I've taken the front sight off. Like I said, I don't need it. The first thing I can say about this sight is right now there's the morning sun behind me, so it's relatively bright, which usually is kind of detrimental to red dots. And even with the morning sun reflecting off my targets, which it's reflecting pretty brightly, those targets I use, it's easier to see where your bullet strikes are hitting. Well, they're kind of made out of a shiny paper, so when you got sunlight right on them, they tend to be brighter than what would be, I guess, standard paper. But even with that, I can see it. Although I think it, strangely enough, because it has red bullseyes. I started out with a green dot, but I think the red dot's slightly brighter, or at least more functional in this particular situation. And I like the green dots, but right now we're going to use the red dot because I'm able to get a better view of the bullseye with the red dot right now. Let's see if we even hit our target. I really probably should be doing this at 25 yards, but let's see. Maybe we'll be on target already. Huh. Well, let me fire 3 rounds. Okay, that's 3 rounds. Let me go take a look at the target and see if I'm even hitting. Well, hold on. I got a binocular here. Let me look through my binocular and see if I can see anything. No. Yeah, actually, I do think I see. I'm hitting far to the left. Even with a binocular, that the sun is reflecting off my target so much, I need to go down there and take a look. So let's go take a look. And here we are at our target. Let me shade it a little bit with my big fat body here. So now you can actually see the bullet strikes. 1, 2, and 3. So mostly on target. Elevation wise, not bad. I need to elevate it a little bit, and I got to drift it to the right quite a bit. But luckily, surprisingly, at 45 yards, I was actually already hitting this target, although it is a larger target. So let me go ahead and make some adjustments and see if we can start hitting bullseye. So now let's adjust our sight now that we know how we're supposed to, or what we need to adjust. First thing you got to do is there is a locking screw right here, and you use the smaller Allen key for that. It basically locks the sights once you adjust them. So you got to unscrew it a little bit to take any tension off. And then here on the right is the adjustment for windage. It has an R to tell you that if you go the direction of this arrow, you will move your point of impact to the right. And on top, you have an up and an arrow that'll let you know that if you turn, in this case counterclockwise, you will move your point of impact up. And you use the larger Allen keys for that. So let me move it up a little bit. And yes, you can hear there is a clicking sound. So every time that you adjust it a little bit, yeah, I can hear it there. It's very faint, but it is somewhat of a friction turn. It's not a click to a click, but between the movement, I can hear small clicks in there. So it's not necessarily a full-on positive adjustment with a click. It is somewhat of a friction click, or friction with a click, I should say. Can I be a little more confusing? I think I can. So once again, locking screw, once you finish sighting it in, tighten it up. And that way you know that your reticle is not going to be moving. So I moved it up a little bit. I moved it to the right a little bit more. And let's see how much of an adjustment that has made on our target. So let's go ahead, get the camera ready here. We'll fire 3 more rounds. Okay, that's 3 shots. Let's go see how much of an adjustment we made. Okay, well, not much of an adjustment at all. Basically, the point of impact is very close to where it was before. So I'm gonna have to adjust it quite more. And it looks like it dropped. I swear I turned it to make the point of impact higher. But once again, it may be that I'm just shooting a little too far. So let me go ahead and adjust it some more. This time I am going to adjust it a few more clicks up and a lot more to the right, and hopefully that'll alleviate our problem. It does look like they moved right a little bit, but moved down, so I'll have to adjust that. Let's go back and get that done and shoot some more rounds. So same process as last time. I'm going to loosen the screw here to allow me to actually drift the sights. And right, I'm actually going to do 1 complete turn. I tried to check to see if the instructions said how much each click was as far as an adjustment, MOA, or, you know, inches per distance, but no, it didn't really show anything. So let me move it up some more as well. It may have been more up than I needed to. And then we'll go ahead and retighten, excuse me, this screw to keep the sights in the spot that I've adjusted them. And let's get ready to shoot a couple more rounds. Okay, let's shoot 3 more rounds. Now, I did change my reticle. I had it on the dot reticle, which is great for, I guess, precision shooting because it's just a tiny little dot. But with the sun behind me and the fact that my bullseyes are red, my red dot was disappearing a little bit into the red bullseye. So I switched it to the crosshair so I had a better point of reference to exactly where that dot is. Because the crosshairs still have the dot in the center, but just with the lines, giving it a little better of a reference. So let's shoot 3 more rounds. Back on safe. Let's see where we're hitting. Well, let me first apologize. I forgot to turn on my target camera for those shots. You know, I'm no Steven Spielberg, everybody. But anyway, adjustments worked too well. I did one whole rotation, drifting windage to the right, and it drifted all the way over here. So that actually lets me know that if I kind of do a half rotation back, I should be about on target. And elevation wise, that's good. I kind of like the elevation, so I'm going to leave that as is. I'm going to go ahead and drift it back about a half turn of the windage knob and see if we can actually get on the red. So let's try that out. Oh, and I won't forget to turn on my target camera this time. Okay, everybody, fingers crossed. Let's see if we're getting closer to the bullseye. Oh, silly me. If I had been counting, I'd realize I've just hit 10 rounds. But you know what? No, let me put in a couple more. I was going to say, let me go test with 1 shot. But even a 3-shot group is kind of iffy when you're sighting in. You should really be doing about 5-shot groups. But since this is just 22 long rifle, I figured 3-shot groups will be fine. But let me load a couple more rounds here real quick. Okie doke. Get those last 2 rounds on target. Okay, that's 3. Drop the magazine. Let's go check our target. Okay, hooray, much closer to just touching the bullseye, and then one a little higher up here. And I mean, a lot of that is I'm having trouble doing very, very, very precise shooting because it is very bright out here. And although I will say the FoxSpook is doing well as far as brightness goes, because it is the morning sun right behind me, so a bright day. I've got sun, as you can see. If I move away from my targets, they are shining. So even with that, I can see it. It's just not terribly precise. So when I check the different reticles, I'm going to move closer so that when I'm shooting at these targets, I can see the bullseye a little bit better. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to adjust it just a few more clicks to the right. I think from here to here, I did about 3 audible clicks. So I'll probably do about 4, maybe 5, and see if I'm hitting in the center. And then from there, we'll go ahead and get a little closer. I think I'll get it about maybe about 20 yards. And then we'll try shooting at these with the different reticles and see if it really does change the point of impact. I went ahead and adjusted it already. Since you've seen me do it a couple of times, I don't suspect you need to see how to do it again. So 3 more rounds. And I adjusted 5, it was 5 audible clicks. Yeah, you know, without the magnification, I probably should be doing this at a closer range. But let's go see where I hit. Okay, so I've moved it too much because I've drifted far here, and I think it really is at this point a problem with the sunlight and my eyes being able to focus at that range with the red dot. So I'm going to go ahead and put it back. I'm going to move it 4 clicks back. Hopefully that'll put me on center. I'm going to go ahead at that point and move closer and start shooting at these. And I'm going to try, well, it's 4 different reticles, so I'll try 4 of the different targets and see if the point of impact is similar for all 4, or if there is a shift between the different reticles. So let me go ahead and do the little switch, and then we'll move closer, like I said, to about 20 yards, and we'll start trying shooting these smaller targets. Now we are here at 25 yards. I've loaded it up. I'm going to shoot at 4 targets with the 4 different reticles and see if the point of impact, I guess, shift between the different reticles. I'm hoping I'm pretty sighted in at this distance. I'm going to start with the bottom right target. And yeah, my targets are still glaring sun at me. So, you know, I can still see the red dot. So kudos to CVLIFE for that. That being said, I probably should have done this video either in the evening or on a cloudy day. But unfortunately, I can't pick the weather, and I don't live out here. So when I get out to the properties that I can shoot at, I got to take advantage regardless of the weather. So bottom right target, this is going to be the dot reticle. Okay, so that's 5 shots with the dot reticle. Now I'm going to move to the bullseye reticle and shoot the target above it. That's one thing I will say. If it is a brighter day, using the dot reticle is going to be the most difficult. The bullseye, the crosshairs, and the starburst are going to be a lot easier to see. So that is an option there. Let's see where this one hits. Okay, and now let's move to the crosshairs. We'll do the crosshairs on the upper left target, or the middle target, I guess. And now the starburst underneath that. And the starburst is really just a combination of the crosshairs, the bullseye. That's kind of what it appears like. It's a bullseye with some crosshairs right outside the circle, the larger circle. Okie doke. There we go. Let's go take a look at our target. Okay, and here we are at our target. Once again, let me cover up the target so you can see it a little bit better. So, if I remember correctly, it was dot, bullseye, crosshairs, and starburst. Was that correct? I'll go back and look at the video. But yeah, it looks like I have it sighted in pretty well. And as far as a drift in the, change in the different reticles, they all hit very similar, a little low because I got much closer, so that's going to hit lower than where I had it. These two were very, very similar, almost exact. This one, basically windage was perfect, but it hit a little bit lower. And this one I was hitting a little bit to the right and about the same distance down. So the only difference was probably on windage on this reticle here. However, once again, because it's so bright out here, it could be an issue that I just wasn't centering it quite right. Whether that was user error or an actual shift in the reticle, well, shift in the point of impact between the reticles, that's going to be a tough one. I'd say that they're very, very similar. So it would appear to me that regardless of which reticle you're using, your point of aim should be the same. That being said, if you do like this sight and decide to purchase it for yourself, I would try this experiment as well. Like I said, maybe on a darker or cloudier day, so you make sure that you are putting that reticle exactly in the center of the target, and that way you'll see and make sure that point of impact isn't shifting between the different reticles. But what I'm going to say is probably not. I don't think the point of impact is going to shift based on what I am seeing here. But anyway, CVLIFE FoxSpook. Are we spooking the fox? I think we are. And it's a fun little sight. I like it on that 22. It co-witnessed with the iron sights if that's important for you. And certainly if you want to put it on a rimfire for shooting at targets and stuff, it's something that I think would work great. But that being said, in a very bright environment, in an area where your targets may be reflecting light back at you, that reflex sight is going to be a little dim. So it's going to work much better in slightly darker environments. But other than that, it's a great sight and a lot of fun to use, especially on this rimfire. So as always, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. I hope this video gave you a little insight on the FoxSpook. And as always, I hope you're taking good care of yourselves, having fun out there at the range. And I will see you in the next video.